Okay guys, so my Mustang here has a misfire, and today I'm going to be taking you guys along with me in the diagnosing process of this misfire. So if you have a misfire on your 05 to 09 Mustang GT, hopefully you'll be able to use this video, and hopefully you'll be able to fix yours too. But yeah, I'll throw in a little clip here of what's happening. All right guys, so the Mustang sat for about a week and it has developed a slight misfire. I just reset the codes and the keep alive memory. I have no check engine lights. Hopefully it just needs to be cleared out because it sat for a week and maybe there's bad gas. I just put new gas in it too, so maybe it's got to circulate some of that gas. Okay, so I've been driving around for a minute trying to clear the plugs out, hoping maybe that is the problem. What I'm doing is I'm driving at higher RPM and then letting off the gas, so it is engine braking, and what that does is it is sucking fresh air through the engine without fuel from the injectors. So what it's doing is all that fresh air is rushing through and cleaning off the valves and the spark plugs. So hopefully it's missing still. It's any RPM, there's no misfire. It's only under load, so I'm thinking it's a lean condition. So this might be a fuel filter or something fuel related if it is happening under load. Alright, let's do like a half throttle. No, it's on 7. Instantly misfiring. No miss. Oh, no miss there. Oh, it's missing in third. Okay. Yep, there's a problem. Okay, so in my case, my misfire is random. What's happening is under no load, the engine is completely fine. It runs on all 8 cylinders. Idling and normal driving, 8 cylinders. As soon as my engine sees any bit of load, it starts dropping cylinders, and I've had it drop up to 3 cylinders, I think. A first easy thing to check when you have this problem is start the car up and start unplugging sensors and see if that changes anything in the engine. Okay, so it's idling completely normal here, which is an indicator to me that it's most likely not a bad mass airflow sensor. You can check this out. If you do have a bad MAF, you can unplug yours, and if I unplug it and the idle doesn't change, that means my MAF sensor is bad. If it does change, that means my MAF is working. You hear an immediate change in the engine, that's a good indicator that your MAF sensor, plugging in and unplugging the MAF is changing the engine. It was enough to stall it. So that's telling me that my MAF is likely not the issue. The next step that I would take in diagnosing this is checking spark, because a bad coil or a bad spark plug would definitely cause a misfire. The way I tested this already was I go to every coil pack and I unplug the pigtail on the top of the coil pack, and I listen for a change in the engine. If the coil pack is bad, there will be no change in the idle. If the coil pack is functioning as it should, you'll hear it drop down to 7 cylinders. There, it's on 7. Back to 8. It took it a second, but that tells me that coil pack is working. And I've already gone through the entire engine and I've checked all the coil packs and I've confirmed all coil packs are good. So now that we have confirmed that all of the coil packs are functioning as they should at idle and the mass airflow sensor is not broken, that means we have another problem. In my case, the symptoms I've had in my misfire are leading me to believe it is a low fuel pressure issue. My reasoning behind that is under little load, where less fuel is required, the car functions completely fine. Once it gets into a load range at higher, it doesn't matter the RPM, it does matter the RPM, but it's more so the load of the engine, how much force is being applied to it or how much gas you're putting down on the pedal. It starts dropping more cylinders. So that leads me to believe when more fuel is required, the engine's not getting it, It's making it drop cylinders. What could that be? Fuel pump, fuel filter, injectors. My easiest place to start is going to be the fuel filter. I went ahead and I picked up an OEM fuel filter, Motorcraft filter. Here's the part number for any of you that may be having a similar problem on your 05 to 09 GT. And we're gonna throw this bad boy in. It should be a pretty simple install. It's going to be on your driver's side right underneath your door here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the car jacked up. This car is a lot heavier than a 240. If you guys have a low Mustang, I really recommend getting these Steeda sliders. They're pretty helpful, pretty nice, especially for jacking up the car and supporting it. And our fuel filter is gonna be, ooh, this skid tray is doing its job, but our fuel filter is gonna be right underneath this tray, so we're gonna need a couple of 10 mils, it looks like. First bolt right here. Is it a 10? It is. That is a dirty bolt. Dang. Careful with these. Oh, this one's rusty. That was a rough one, but it didn't break. How is this John held on? Alright, looks like we got a couple of push tabs. Oof! Big old frame dent right there. I must have bottomed out hard. Good thing I'm never selling this car. Alright, there's one. Two. We got this out of the way enough, and here is our fuel filter. Now, Ford makes it really easy for you to splash fuel into your mouth and eyes. Press down on these two tabs here, and that should release your filter. And a neat trick to release the fuel filter more easily is to just rub the belly of it here for a little bit. That makes it happy, and it'll make it come out much easier. All right, here it comes. All right, and then once you got the lines unplugged, you can just slide the fuel filter out the front. Let it drain a little bit. Oh, this fuel is dark. Yeah, this might be a problem. The fuel coming out is black. Yeah, this filter is definitely cooked. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Very hard to blow through. Let's see how the new one is. They're similar. Oh, easy. All right, that's definitely the problem then. That is impossible to blow through, and the fuel that came out of it was completely black. Make sure you're angling it the same way you got it out. This like top of a can part, the wider part is gonna be towards the front of the car. This is the back of the car. So slide this John through here. Pop our hoses back on. Make sure you hear a click when you pop them on. You do not want a fuel leak. Want those green tabs to lock onto the locking fitting. Like that. And that's it. Our fuel filter's changed. That was no joke, one of the smoothest starts this car has had in a long time. let's get to this test drive. No misfire so far. It's still missing. It's only misfiring at low RPM now. Yeah, wide open works. It's just below 3,000, I think. Yeah, once I get past 3,000, it stops misfiring. Ooh, I wonder if that's a cam phaser thing. That's not good. We don't want that. Yeah, there's no miss above 3,000 RPM now. If you guys don't know how the cams work in this car, this is the first year that Ford had variable cam timing. So the cam gear on the front of the motor, which is controlled by oil pressure, has a spring, and it changes the degree of the cam based on RPM. And I'm not quite sure if it advances or retards the cam, but at low RPM, up until about 3,500 RPMs, when you're under heavy load, it changes the degree of the cam to give the car better low-end torque. And I'm having my misfire only in that RPM range where the VCT should be activating. So I wonder if my VCT is bad. I hope not. All right, so here I'm doing a little test of the charge motion control valves. They're little butterfly valves inside your intake manifold, and they also activate at 3,000 RPMs. If they're functioning properly, you should be able to see a little arm on the back of the intake manifold actuate, and that's it moving the butterfly valves open and closed. All right, guys, this is how the diagnosing process usually goes on my Mustang. It's usually not so simple to find the problems, and since the fuel filter did not fix our misfiring issue, the thing to do in this situation is fix the cheapest thing first. So the next cheapest thing that we can test to see if it's the issue is the MAF. Now, I know the MAF isn't bad completely because it is still functioning at idle, and the car does not work when the MAF is unplugged. So maybe my MAF is dirty, and it's a possibility because look, I over oiled my filter, and oilable filters are known to dirty MAFs sometimes. So let's see. If you ever clean your MAF, do not touch anything on it. They are very sensitive to oils and whatnot. And when you're cleaning your MAF, only use mass airflow sensor cleaner. Other cleaners are too harsh and they will damage your MAF. 4 to 10 horsepower at the wheels improves AFR. Wow, this is some serious stuff. Inside there is really what you want to clean. That's the hot wires. Ooh, stripping that one out. Nice. Not surprisingly, this also did not fix the misfire. Today is the day. I'm giving in and we're changing the spark plugs. These are the original spark plugs on this motor. The car is about to hit 100,000 miles and the original spark plugs have lasted this long. Now, for those of you who know, it is kind of hard to change the spark plugs on this car. They're very accessible, but they tend to break. When you don't do them properly, they can break off in the motor. So what I just did, I just ripped on the car. The motor is super hot right now, so the head is expanded and it's not gonna be biting and clamping on the spark plugs. So on a hot motor, the spark plugs should come out easily. So we gotta get this done. Dang, this really is a hot motor. So much heat coming off of it right now. What size is the coil pack? Is it a 6? Come on. It's a 7. Dang, this is so hot. Dang, this thing is so hot. Coil pack's coming out. Here we go. Spark plug number 1. Nice. Oh, got some turning. That one's pretty tight. All right. See what we got on the first one. Hopes are high. Scared as shit, but hopes are high. Whew! Yup, that's a spark plug, boy. Look at that. Got him. That's great. Sure did feel like it wanted to break, but it didn't. Jesus, this is scary. Come on. Oh, there's 2. These are rough. It's 3. Ooh. Whew. Yup. Almost there. We got this. Yup. Yup. 7. Get the hell out. Ooh. God is good. That's 8. Whew. We did the impossible, boys. Look at that. 8 plugs out. 0 cracked. Gee. Yeah, I was terrified. You guys have no idea. This is the scariest. This is without a doubt the scariest thing I've ever had to do on a car. This is the second time I've done spark plugs on a 3-valve with the 2-piece spark plugs, and we're 2 for 2 now. I've never broken a spark plug. I've gotten 16 out, 0 broken, and these all do look very crusty. No wonder this thing has a misfire. Whew. All right, so these are the spark plugs I'm going with. They're OEM. I would not recommend anything besides OEM because the spark on these cars is extremely sensitive. If you do not have OEM plugs, you are going to have misfires, or you're going to melt a plug or have some problem. And also, the OEM plugs are not gappable. They come pre-gapped. So, check that out. This is the part. All right, let's throw these Johns in by hand. Make sure we don't cross thread. Get them in nicely. Just going in. Come on. All right, there we go. Got it hand tight. I'm gonna put them all in hand tight, and then we're gonna take a torque wrench, and it is very important that you use a torque wrench in this because the spark plugs on these Triton motors, the 4.6s and the 5.4s, they're known to wiggle their way out. There's 2 things they're known for: getting so stuck in there that they break, and wiggling their way out. That thing's cool. But yeah, you want to make sure you torque these down to the proper spec so you don't break them or have them fly out on you. Here is the torque wrench in question. This is just a cheap little one, but you want to set it to 13 foot-pounds. We're gonna go 15 right here, 14, 13. Not a lot of torque on this thing. Don't over torque them, please. But we're gonna go around and torque all these to 13. And then we're good to throw our coil packs back on. That's 13. Not that much. $13. There we go. Seems very light for what it is. I usually, on the 240, I torque them way more than 13, I feel like. That felt like nothing. Everything is back together. All the coil packs are back in. It is the moment of truth. I really, really hope this thing is fixed now. That would be so nice. Okay. Ooh, that was a smooth start. No misfire. I can already hear it. There's 0 misfire. Wow, this thing sounds smooth. All right, let's check these out. This one looks like it got really hot, and look at all this carbon buildup. Wow. You got a knife or something? All this carbon buildup right here. This is where the spark plugs always break. Oh man, this one looks like it probably was close to breaking. Look at all this heat right here too. It's a lot of heat. Wonder why it's like that. Same with this John, a bunch of carbon buildup. Jeez. That's interesting. It's that Bama tune for you. I bet you this is from me running that popcorn tune I used to run. If you know, you know. Very ricer, but rice is fun sometimes. You gotta weigh your options. I want to see if I can break one of these. See what kind of force it takes to break one of these. They're getting thrown away anyways. I feel like I might be able to break it by hand. Oh, is that it? Or is my tool breaking? Probably another vice grip would be better. Sounds like there's a hot boy coming. Maybe not. These things might be strong. What are you guys complaining about breaking them? I can't break this thing. Need a little impact. See what a little impact does. Nothing. You guys are a bunch of babies breaking your spark plugs. I can't break this thing if I tried. Dang. Oh, we got it. There's yep, this is what happens. This right here is what happens in your head. Your head, imagine this is your head, the vice grip is your head, and the spark plug slides down in it. You impact it off, this is where they break. Look at that. Aye! I don't know why I didn't think it would be hot. I saw the smoke coming off of it. There you go. This is an example of what happens to your spark plugs if you do not change them properly and use heat. Please use heat. A lot of people say you have to use like penetrating fluid or PV blaster and let it soak in there. I don't recommend that. If it's really stuck, I guess you could try that. But a lot of the times what can happen is the PB blaster can soak into the engine block and you'll get some in your oil, and if you don't change your oil, it can run risk of damaging bearings and stuff that oil does. So heat is your friend. It's gonna expand the head, making it grip the plug not as hard, so when you're in, don't impact it off. Maybe impact it off, I don't know, I've never done it. But yeah, do it on a hot motor, or else this will happen and this will be stuck in your motor and this is all you'll get out. All right, test drive time. See how she is. The cold start, it's not cold, but the startup is a lot smoother. I like the vibrations that the car makes. It's vibrating a little bit, but you know what I mean. Ooh, I like that. All right, here we go. No misfire. Oh yeah. That's a great feeling. Settle down, bud. Get in the back. Oh, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. All right, this will be the real test. I'm gonna floor it in third below 3,000 RPMs. It's fixed. I'm calling it, it's fixed. That's great. That's just excellent. That's what it was, I guess. My theory is it was a combination of the fuel filter being as clogged as it was, and then that made it run lean, and then the lean condition fouled the plugs or burnt the tips on the plugs, so they weren't sparking as easily. So and since it would only happen at 3,000 RPMs, that's when I forget what they're called, but there's flaps inside the intake manifold that create turbulent air, and the turbulent air makes more power, but it's similar to boost. It's more turbulent air on the spark plugs, turbulent air, harder to combust. Under that condition, the bad spark plugs could not combust because of the failed fuel filter. That's my conclusion as to why I had the misfire. Yeah, any of you having similar conditions, follow the steps I took using the logic and thinking I did, and hopefully you guys can fix your misfire as well too, because trust me, it's very frustrating to have a misfire. I now know how it feels. This is the longest misfire I've had before. Yeah, that's nice. Alright, we gotta hit the donut spot one time. In a little celebration. Scooting. Scuffed my dash up. Oh, we got a little spin in there at the top of second. That was scary. I was about to power shift into third, and the puddle made the driver's side rear spin, and that got a little weird. I did not like that. Quit doing that. It tried to Mustang me right there. You see that, boys? That's why you gotta be careful when you're driving these Mustangs. They try and Mustang you. Don't be a statistic when you're driving your Mustang. With great Mustang comes great responsibility. Oh, there's a rally car right there. What the heck? I do not like these stretch tires. These stretch tires are so scary. Guys, I am so happy. I missed this car. I haven't been able to beat on it in so long. Good car. We left big. We have some dark marks there. Hey, there ain't nothing like catching second in a Mustang. Like they're not the fastest, but nothing gets my blood flowing like snagging second gear in a Mustang. Just that whoop-pa! Makes you feel like a man.